right, people. We're going to show you some books here. These are randomly chosen, completely random. I'm not talking really about the content of the book, so let's not get that confused, because we're just talking about how the book is made, the construction, the materials, the quality, the lasting ability, the paper. We're going to talk about all that stuff. Might even talk about repair a little bit. So, see, these are just totally random. I'm just like grabbing them off the shelf here. Yep, that's cloth, but it's not the greatest cloth in the world. And let's see, is that a tight back binding? Oh, wow, you don't see that very often. The inner spine is glued to the outer spine. Yeah, and eventually it starts to, this here, it'll start to crease here, and you've probably seen books like that. So I met that author once in a cafe right here in Oakland, just out of the blue. But this is one of the more bonkery books in the catalog. This I'm just mainly showing you. This is such a small cloth-bound book that's really quite unusual. But what I wanted to show you was that when I say all edges red, usually it's like on a big book, but this is the funniest thing. I can't believe I've never seen a thin book. See, so they had to wax that on there. Boy, those bookmakers, they're pretty special. All right, so is this the first book on UFOs ever published? Yeah, somebody should write a chronology, a chronological bibliography of the UFO phenomenon. Anyway, Donald Keyhoe. So this is another example. Like, well, obviously the paper's terrible. But see, it's a little even hard to tell that sometimes, because this could have been in a smoker's house, with just sort of laying on the table for 20 years. Yeah, a good paper will be brown like that, but if it was tight on the shelf, and that's how you really preserve books. Yeah, that's another thing I'm going to have to make clear with people. People always ask me, how do you preserve books? I know people that have climate control. I shouldn't laugh, but it's absolutely not necessary unless you're dealing with Gutenberg Bibles. Oh, no, wait. This was taken in error. Oh, yeah. Okay. Brill. I think I'm shouting, aren't I? Yes, I'm shouting. Brill is one of the most famous scholarly publishers in the world, and they've always been known for their quality bindings, and this is no exception to that. I used to sell this book new. It's absolutely fascinating. I love the subtitle, Religious Meaning and the Psychology of Delusion. But anyway, Brill. But even Brill has cheapened their quality. It just really bothers me. So this is a good example of. It looks like it's cloth, and in fact, for a second it fooled me there. But it is cloth. Oh, that is so funny. All right. That we're going to clip out of the video. Todd made an error. I love this book. I wish it was in better condition. But this is a book that should be honored for the ages. And Morris Berman. I corresponded with him a lot for years. He moved to Mexico. He got sick of America. Okay. Bones. Bone was Henry Bone, amazing publisher in England, starting around the 1860s, I think, and then his name was used, and it's probably even still being used. But look at this. This is the same book, different printing, so it's exactly the same edition. Boy, I should do a little thing about edition and printing. People get so confused. But anyway, but different bindings, quite different. It's pretty unusual to be that different. Anyway, aren't those beautiful? I love the way the Bones Library, some of the Bones libraries. Okay, so, yeah, no, I don't think that one. No, we're running out of time because Todd's talking too much. Okay, here, this is a really good example. Okay, Tisk Stanford, an incredibly important, unbelievable bibliography of Kierkegaard, Athanasius Kierkegaard, one of the Renaissance's last men who knew everything. They didn't glue it, and it's already cracking. Yeah, see that there? And get this, I bought this new, and I had it on the shelf in my bookstore for about a week. And then I decided, no, I'm going to keep this. And somebody had already cracked it. Oh, yeah. All right. So, but that's just remarkable. There's 2 other Kierkegaard bibliographies, so it wasn't like... Okay, I want to sing the praises of David Feidler. People probably know David through various different... He's a musician, he's a publisher, he's an author. And he moved to... I'll think of it in a minute. So what David did, and I believe he consulted with me before he started this, he found a bookbinder that would do books the right way. Full cloth, handsomely gilt, alkaline paper, so there's no acid in it, and sewn binding. You can't get any better than that. David's a lovely character. He told me he never made a dime out of Fawny's Press. I didn't make that clear. Let me show you guys. Yeah, Fawny's Press here. David worked with some other publishers. He did a lot of really important stuff, yeah. Okay, I think I described this in a kind of jocular way in the catalog, but so this is a book printed in India. It was originally printed in the United States. Everything is cheaper in India in terms of quality and price. But actually, this is a pretty good example. Actually, I mean, they did a pretty good job on this. Wow. Oh, I did not see that. Look at this. The symbolism of the triangles. We've got Burma, Law, Blake, Blavatsky. Very interesting. I am going to look at that later. So, do I say in the catalog? I say in the catalog a lot, cracked hinges. People ask me, what do you mean by that, Todd? It's a little kind of, it's kind of a gray area in certain ways, but usually it means that the cover has already been pushed as far as it will go for some reason, and the glue, the paper starts to split. Yeah, I got to explain that in a much better way than that, but that's okay. Bollingen, one of my favorite publishers. This is kind of hard. There's no real term for this. It's 2 types of cloth together. So I forget how I have it, but I say 2 types. Say color would be a little confusing. This is just a beautiful book. Everything they did was beautiful. Panofsky's, these people were part of the Warburg Institute, and all the plates very well reproduced, and it's kind of glossy-ish paper. It's probably quite good, although with glossy paper, it's really easy. Okay, I'm not going to do this. Let me just move that there. Okay, oh yeah, okay. So a lot of times I say in the catalog, glossy boards. Here's a glossy board, all right. So it's just cardboard. And I used to hate this kind of binding, but it's actually not bad, and sometimes it works really, really well. This is a monstrous book. There's a lot of words we could say about this book, but it does not have a chronological bibliography. So you have to, just sort of piece through it. Okay, now let's see. All right, I want to make a little point about this. Okay, so this is like a tricky book. This is the first edition of one of the most important books on alchemy, right? I see. There's a hinge. See, it's not really cracked. Well, a little cracking. I use the term strained. And I like that term because, do you want a book where the cover's flopping back? But it all depends on the binding. And I do get fetishistic sometimes. But I'm a dealer, and I want to, present the whole story. So this is the first printing of the first English edition. And when you compare the quality of the plates to the second, they did a second edition. Yeah, actually, later printings of the first edition are inferior. And then when the second edition came out, very inferior. And the paperback, forget about it. No, I'm not doing that book. I know I've talked too long, so I want to. Well, this is kind of a good example, but I will typically say spine frayed. There's a lot of different words you can use. Sometimes I'll say corners exposed, although these are not really there. That's a corner exposed. It's shorthand to save space and not get all wordy and everything. Because God knows, it's all in this wordiness. So, all right, we did that. No, I'm just, everybody loves this book, but nobody buys it. Okay? That's the truth of this book. Yeah, the Fierbex. Yeah, Sonsino Press. Okay, the amazing thing about this book is it's exactly on that subject. He's not using that as sort of a sneaky word. And he's a fantastic writer. Holbrook Jackson. He probably wrote in his sleep. He wrote so many books. Oh, everybody pay attention. This is only volume 2 of Jacques Vallée's Forbidden Science series, and I forget now, I think there's 7, but color plates, and here's the funny thing, and it's is it a sewn binding? Yes. Wait a minute. Well, that's going to be tricky. I believe it's sewn. Anyway, I consulted with Jacques on this because he wanted to do a nice edition, but he didn't want his books priced $200. And he found it. It's a company called Lulu Press, and they do all kinds of work, but they will list the book on Amazon for you. And, as much as I hate Amazon, okay, we're running out of time. I'm going to show you just a couple of books, and, this is, I'm a little spaced out here. Let's see. I thought this was, no, this is a sewn binding, so that's very, very good, especially on a big book. The weight of being, pushed back and forth. And isn't this an amazing subject right here? I had to read part of this as soon as I bought it, and I think I would like to read more. The guy brings up mythology and folklore and all kinds. So here are 2 of the most prettiest, beautiful books. This is, volume 1. This is probably the definitive book in Spanish on Freemasonry. I don't want to say it is, as if that's a fact, because I do not know Spanish publishing much. But everything about this is just quality. This is Morocco, one of the best leathers. Yeah, it's Morocco. You can tell by the little bumps. I know it gets pretty wiggy. And boss, look at that. Beautiful gilt. It's heavy. Very unusual. These are not marbled. This was printed, and that's pretty unusual. The way people, you can tell printed, it's blank on the other side. Although that sometimes can be confusing. Yeah, they squeezed a lot of information there on the title page. All right, I'm sorry I'm rushing through these books. Oh, that's in the catalog, but we don't have much time. This is just, but there's real scholarship here. That I did investigate. I didn't know anything about that author. And this is just, as soon as I saw this book in a bookshop, I was like, okay, I've got to mortgage my house or sell my firstborn. Now, I guess, for a lot of people, maybe this isn't that interesting. For one, it's a huge book, and it's very hard to do quality bindings on huge books because of the stress of the weight. So I don't know if I'm going to go all through the anatomy here, but we got raised bands. Okay, there's a number of terms we can use for that. This would be, now see, is this quarter cloth, half cloth, or no, half leather, I mean? I say half leather, but I've seen dealers say quarter leather. Okay. Oh, how about that PBA? Yeah. Wonderful auction house in San Francisco where I used to go all the time.
Down Berkeley, I think.
Yeah. And no, I've never been able to find out anything about Thomas, but like I said, I'm sticking to the anatomy. So here's something. Okay, this is really, people don't understand. So this is completely smooth right here. I don't even know how they do that. Then they wax, and it's not candle wax, it's some other kind of wax. Why? Why would they do that? Well, 200-300 years ago, when they really perfected this, people read by candlelight. And candle wax dripped on a lot of materials, the oils in the wax will stain it. Not so. Also, water drips, they'll just roll right off. See, this book, in a certain way, you could use this as a football and kick it around a grassy field. No, okay, that's taking this too far. And then, if you could turn around, Will, I forgot to tell you. I don't know. Here, I'll bring them over here. But it's really funny. I just happen to have I just got a whole bunch of books with marbled bindings. So I wanted to show these to people. That's not the best example in the world. Here's imitation marbled paper. Also imitation leather. Yeah, it might actually be bonded leather, which is how they make cheap shoes. Yeah, I should make that clear. Bonded leather. It's the dust, the detritus from binding or making shoes or whatever. They scoop it all up. They add some glue, and they make these sheets and bind with it. Okay, so it's not wax. I thought it was. This is just nice. Really nice, and it's in beautiful condition. Oh, this is not in the catalog. Sorry, people. These are not in the catalog. But there's the different. So here's a good example. Yeah, totally worn out, but it's kind of evocative in a way. It's like, is there a ghost coming out of there? Okay. Now, let's see. We got this one already. I'm just gonna grab these. Oh yeah, these are sweet. Sweet. Actually, I have a lot more than this. Well, not a lot more, but I wish I put this in the catalog. This is really, I know why I didn't, because I have some other really good books on Anglo-Saxon culture, but Very nice, marbled. And let's see. Oh, look, waxed. Let's see. Marbled end papers? I predict yes. Yes. Is that beautiful or what? And you know, people, you should look up how they do this. And there's all kinds of different subtleties that they can pull out of this. And it's just another nice marbled binding. This is a really nice book. This is not in the catalog, but it should be. I think I did catalog it once. It didn't sell. But this author is, this editor is of the persuasion that Bacon wrote Shakespeare. Now this, wait, why did I pull this? This is not marbled. Well, wait. No, definitely not. It's printed, but it's taken from a marbled book. And then the very last thing, I'm not a big fan of this book. I mean, of this binding. I don't know, something... It looks like kind of like 1960s upholstery in a bar. But it is really beautiful. Beautiful book. Perfect condition. This is polished leather. Now we have Moire. These are Moire. M-O-I-R-E. Thank you. So this is in the catalog. I think we have it. I'm sorry I did this so fast, and but I wanted to pack in as much as possible, and I want to do some more of these videos. I hope you enjoyed the catalog. Thank you.